Welcome to Session 20, the last of our U.S. History Unit. We bring the story up to the present, from the Watergate scandal, through the end of the Cold War, to September 11th and modern America. By the end, you'll understand Watergate and its blow to public trust, trace the major policy shifts from Nixon through Obama, and understand September 11th and the challenges facing America today. President Richard Nixon had real achievements. He opened relations with Communist China in 1972, eased Cold War tensions with the Soviet Union through détente, and created the Environmental Protection Agency. But all of it was overshadowed by Watergate. Burglars tied to Nixon's re-election committee broke into Democratic Party headquarters, and Nixon took part in the cover-up. Facing certain impeachment, Nixon resigned in 1974, the only president ever to do so. It proved no one is above the law, but it also devastated Americans' trust in their government, a cynicism that lingers today. The 1970s were rough. Stagflation, high inflation and unemployment at once, an energy crisis, and the Iran hostage crisis, where Americans were held for 444 days. President Carter's bright spot was the Camp David Accords, a historic Egypt-Israel peace deal. Then, Ronald Reagan swept in 1981 and shifted American politics sharply to the right. His economic program, Reaganomics, combined big tax cuts, deregulation, and a huge defense buildup. The result was a strong economic boom in the mid-80s, but also a tripling of the national deficit and a sharp rise in income inequality, trade-offs still debated today. The Cold War ended faster than anyone expected. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev's reforms opened up the system, and on November 9, 1989, the Berlin Wall, the great symbol of the divided world, came down. In 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved entirely, and the United States had won the Cold War. That same year, a U.S.-led coalition freed Kuwait from Iraq in the Gulf War. The 1990s brought the longest economic boom in U.S. history under Bill Clinton, along with the NAFTA trade deal, and for a few years, a balanced federal budget. Then came September 11th, 2001. 19 al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked 4 planes, striking the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, and killing nearly 3,000 people. The deadliest terrorist attack on American soil. The U.S. launched the War on Terror, invading Afghanistan to topple the Taliban that had sheltered al-Qaeda. At home, it created the Department of Homeland Security and passed the PATRIOT Act, which expanded government surveillance and sparked civil liberties debates. In 2003, the U.S. invaded Iraq, claiming it had weapons of mass destruction. None were ever found, a costly war that damaged American credibility around the world. In 2009, Barack Obama became the first African-American president, a historic milestone, just as the country plunged into the Great Recession, the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. His signature achievement, the Affordable Care Act of 2010, extended health coverage to about 20 million more Americans and barred insurers from denying coverage for pre-existing conditions. And that brings us to today, shaped by big themes: deepening political polarization, the technology and social media revolution, rising income inequality, ongoing debates over immigration, and the challenge of climate change. Let's test it. Which of these was a direct domestic policy consequence of the September 11th attacks? Pause and choose. The answer is A. After 9/11, the government created the Department of Homeland Security and passed the PATRIOT Act, which expanded surveillance powers. Homeland Security merged 22 agencies, and the PATRIOT Act widened surveillance, sparking civil liberties debates. The other options never happened. No martial law, no amendment, and the elections went ahead as normal. Let's recap Session 20. Watergate forced Nixon to resign and shattered public trust in government. Reaganomics reshaped the economy with tax cuts and deregulation, producing a boom, but also big deficits. The Cold War ended with the fall of the Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union. September 11th launched the War on Terror, and the Iraq War's missing weapons damaged U.S. credibility. And Barack Obama became the first black president, expanding health coverage with the Affordable Care Act.